Hi, this is Diane Lovetobake, and what we're going to make are called zucchini cookies. They're an Italian lemon cookie. Now, you can make them by hand, and that's how, well, my mother made them. In other words, you put some flour on top of your countertop or whatever you're using. You put the flour down and you make a well and put your eggs in and everything and just combine everything. But I kind of made it my own version. You don't want to overmix this cookie dough, but it's just easier than, like I said, making the well and doing it by your hands on the countertop. So let's get started. First, you want to start off with 3 cups of all-purpose flour and put that into your mixing bowl. Okay. Now, if you're doing it by hand, you might want to or need to put a little bit more flour, even sometimes up to 4 cups. I generally, when I use my mixer, 3 does it for me. So, you might have to work with that a little bit, that type of thing, okay? The next thing that you're going to be putting in is 1 cup of granulated sugar, okay? You're also going to be putting in a 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder and also a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. And what I do is I just, turn on my mixer just to stir that in on really the lowest setting. Okay? The next thing that I put in are 3 eggs. And you'll want your eggs at room temperature. Okay? And I'm going to just start putting in 1 at a time. Again, a very low speed because I don't want these cookies to come out, tough in texture. Okay, that was 3 eggs. Now, the next thing that you're going to be putting in is olive oil. And you're going to need 1/4 cup. Now, if you don't want to use olive oil, you could use whatever oil that you prefer. But I do put the olive oil in. And then just start mixing it again, very slowly, just to combine everything. Okay? And I'll show you what that looks like so far. It's actually starting to form, as you can see, the dough. Okay? I hope you can see that. Let me see. There we go. Okay? All right. And now I'm going to put in a teaspoon of vanilla. And I'm also going to put a teaspoon of lemon extract. And this is the part that you just stay with it. It's going to look crumbly. But when you raise your speed a little bit, then it'll really start coming together to make the cookie ball. Now, as soon as that happens, though, stop your mixer and, don't go any further because that's all you're waiting for it to do is to come together in a ball. Okay? Now, what I like to do is I actually just take my hands and start encouraging it to come together like that. If it's a little dry, I sometimes put just a little bit more of vanilla. So I'm just going to put, there's about a 1/2 teaspoon. And again, just stirring it. That's all I'm doing it, very slow. Until it starts to come together to make a cookie ball. And it's going to need a little bit more, you can tell. Again, it looks like it's never going to come together, but it does. Now with these cookies, you're going to bake them at 350 degrees, and they're going to take you anywhere from 15 to 20 minutes to do that. And you will want to put them on a greased cookie sheet. Okay. All right. Let me get my paddle out of here. Okay. And then with my hands, I'm just going to pull this together here. Okay. There we go. There we go. Now what you'll want to do is once you get the cookie dough all out and it forms a nice ball for you, you know, put it all together, and then I usually spray a bowl and I put the cookie dough in the bowl and let this dough rest for at least about 30 minutes, 20-30 minutes. Put a piece of plastic wrap over it, or you know, a towel, that kind of thing, just so, you know, allow it to rest. Okay, and let me set that aside. I do have some that has been resting, and I want to show that to you. Get that out of the way. And it will look like this when it comes out of the bowl. Okay? All right. The next thing that you're going to need to do is, of course, you need, as I mentioned, you know, a greased cookie sheet or pan. And then take about the size of an egg, probably, you know, a medium, maybe not a large or an extra large, but a medium size egg. And then just between your hands, roll a rope or a snake, and it's usually about 5 inches, and just make a simple circle out of it, and then seal the ring or the circle. They are going to spread out a little bit, but, you know, space them a couple inches, that'll be fine. Again, just a round ball or size of an egg, as I mentioned. And then just make a snake or a rope about 5 inches long. The thickness is probably a 1/2 inch or so. And then just seal the two pieces together to form a ring or a circle, that kind of thing. And then place them on your tray. Now, when they do come out of the oven, you'll want to put them on a cooling rack. And then it's much easier to glaze them when they're still warm. Not hot, but warm. And I want to give you the recipe for the glaze. You'll want to use it about a cup of powdered sugar to 2 to 3 tablespoons of lemon juice. If that will make a really light glaze, I'm sorry. If you want a thicker glaze, then I would suggest anywhere from 1 1/4 to even maybe 1 1/2 cups of powdered sugar. You be the judge of how thick you want to make your glaze, all right? Let me set that aside, and I'll rinse my hands very quickly here. Now, on the glaze, you can just leave it, you know, the white color, or I like to just put a couple drops of food coloring, yellow food coloring. But again, if you don't want to put the food coloring in, the cookies still come out so pretty. I want to show you the cookies when they're baked up without the glaze, and this is how they turn out. There'll be a light color on the outside, a nice golden brown on the bottom. It is a crispy cookie. This particular cookie really is best for dunking in coffee or tea or that type of thing. And with the glaze, I make mine a little bit thicker. I like to really use about that 1 1/4 cups of the powdered sugar, but you can be the judge of how thick you want it to be. And then I just really either drizzle it on with my spoon or just dump the cookie into the glaze. And then I set it on a cooling rack I put a little wax paper underneath it so it doesn't go all over my counter. And then I let the cookie just set up and get hard on that. And these have been already done, so I want to show you what they look like. And this is how they turn out once that they've been glazed. I don't know if you can, hopefully you can see that. Okay. Again, this cookie, I'm going to break it open so you can kind of see what type of cookie it is. Okay. It is going to be semi-moist. It's not a real soft cookie. And again, it's really good for dunking, that type of thing, when it breaks apart. But it's really a delicious little cookie. I hope you try this recipe, and if you do and you like it, leave a comment because I'd like to hear from you. And as always, thanks for watching Diane Lovetobake, and please subscribe to my channel. I'll see you soon.